안녕하세요. 여러분의 한국어 선생님 고빌리입니다. Thank you so far to everyone who sent their Korean videos to me. I've really enjoyed watching them, and I hope to keep making more episodes in this series. If you're interested in having me grade your Korean in the next video, I've put a video link with information for how you can do that in the description below. Okay, today we have another subscriber I'd like to grade. But first, if you'd like to see more videos like this, please click like and subscribe. Let's get started. For those of you out there who are new to my channel, I am a Korean teacher. I've been learning Korean for over 16 years, and I can speak it fluently. But with that said, I'm not perfect, nor am I a native speaker, but I will do my best. And just like before, I did have a native speaker check all of the clips I'll be showing you, so you can at least trust that my analysis will be accurate. Okay, so today the subscriber we'll be reviewing is Luiza from Brazil. So we're going to be watching her video together, and I'll be analyzing what she does well, how she can improve, and everything between. Luiza sent me a video of her speaking in Korean that's almost 3 minutes long, so let's just watch a part of her video from the beginning.
여러분 안녕하세요. 저는 루이자입니다. 그리고 제 한국 나이가 21살입니다. 저는 브라질 사람입니다. 그럼 만나서 반갑습니다. 저는 한국어를 일곱 달 동안 한국어를 공부하고 있어요.
Nice to meet you, Luiza. And thank you for adding subtitles to your video. And also, thank you for being brave and letting me grade your Korean. And I'm pleased to report that even without subtitles, there would have been no problem understanding what you're saying. Okay, let's keep going.
그리고 빌리 선생님의 한국어 시리즈를 다 봤는데요.
I was so happy to hear this part. I know a lot of people out there, perhaps some of you watching right now, actually started learning Korean using my books or my videos, but I don't often get to see those same people speaking in Korean in a video. And Luiza, you said you've been studying now for 7 months?
일곱 달 동안 한국어를 공부하고 있어요.
The types of sentences that you're putting together with 7 months of studying is not bad at all. And I think overall you're on the right track. Okay, so let's get right into how Luiza can improve her Korean. And there are a few things that I think she can focus on. The first being pronunciation.
그리고 제 한국 나이가 21살입니다.
Here, when you said 한국 for Korea, it sounded almost like you were saying 한국. So just be extra careful about the vowels u and In fact, these two vowels are often confused by beginners, and they confused me as a beginner, because they're not the exact same in English. So again, it should be 한국, u. Okay, moving on.
빌리 선생님, 빌리 선생님, 축하합니다.
First, actually, great job using titles. As a teacher, I've been called everything from just 빌리 to 빌리 선생님, and even just 너, meaning you. Now, Luiza, this tip isn't for you, but never use 너 to a teacher. Only use it to your closest friends who are the same age as you in Korean age or younger. But no, Luiza, you did this great. Whenever you're referring to another person you want to be respectful toward, so this includes any stranger, or it could be a coworker, or just someone that you kind of know, or even someone who you're friends with, but who you wouldn't otherwise speak casually with, I recommend attaching 씨 after their name. So, 빌리 씨. But you went a step further and actually used 선생님, so teacher. So 빌리 선생님, literally Billy the teacher. And this is really the best way to refer to a teacher. So again, good job with your titles. However, your pronunciation of teacher is what we should talk about.
빌리 선생님, 빌리 선생님.
선생님? Now, I know that you know that this was wrong, so I'm only pointing it out just as a reminder to be extra careful with your vowels. So not just the vowels u and from before, but also the vowel 어, such as in 선생님. Now, your 어 sounds actually aren't bad. They don't sound like you're saying a different vowel. But I still think that these are some places that you can work on to further improve your pronunciation. Okay, the next thing that I want to talk about is Luiza's intonation. And I have a few clips.
저는 루이자입니다. 저는 브라질 사람입니다.
Although what you're saying makes sense, there's some awkward intonation. Now, I don't expect someone who's been studying Korean by themselves for 7 months to have perfect intonation. But I think in this case, this is something that you can actually improve rather easily if you simply focus on the ends of your sentences. Because although your overall intonation is going a bit too much up and down, kind of like frequent waves, it's actually the ends of your sentences that stand out the most.
저는 루이자입니다. 저는 브라질 사람입니다.
So here's what I want you to do. Here is a cheat code, and I know it's not going to be perfect. When you're about to end your sentences, so you're speaking and you're getting toward the end, make your intonation go slightly down, just a bit. And then on the very last syllable of your sentence, quickly go a little bit up and down. I'll give you an example. Instead of saying 입니다, you didn't say this, I'm just giving you this as an example. Try saying 입니다. 입니다. So you're going down a little bit and then up and down a little bit at the end on the last syllable.
그리고 빌리 선생님의 한국어 시리즈를 다 봤는데요.
Also here at the end of this sentence, try saying 봤는데요. 봤는데요. So again, going down slightly and then on the last syllable, slightly up and then down again. Now, this isn't exactly what native speakers do. This is more of a band-aid. But I think, though, that just fixing the ends of your sentences will still help you with your overall intonation. With that said, don't worry too much about your intonation yet. I think that intonation is something that learners should start focusing on once they're able to have full conversations. And really, the majority of what it is that makes good intonation is really just learned from listening to how native speakers speak. And if you still have issues with it in the future, then I would suggest things like shadowing to improve it. Okay, next let's go on to talking about Luiza's grammar, starting with this part.
일곱 달 동안 한국어를 공부하고 있어요.
Here you were trying to say, I have been studying Korean for 7 months. But what you actually say is, I am studying Korean for 7 months. Now, your sentence itself is grammatically perfect, but it's not what you were trying to say. However, you will need to use a different grammar form instead to say this. And you're going to need to know how to say the grammar form, which means how long it has been since you started doing something. So the grammar form for saying since. And the way to make this form, to say how long it's been since you began or started doing something, is you take an action verb stem, and if that verb stem ends with a consonant, you'll attach un. Or if it ends with a vowel, you'll just attach a nian, followed by a space and then ji. Or if the verb stem happens to end with a lir, you'll remove it first. So the verb 하다 would become 한지, and the verb 먹다 would become 먹은지. So if you wanted to say, I have been studying Korean for 7 months, what we're actually going to need to say is, it has been 7 months since I started studying Korean. After, you have to attach the amount of time that's passed since you've done that action. In your case, 7개월, so 7 months. And then you want to end this form by using the verb 되다 for to become. So this means it has been the amount of time since you did something. So if we put all of this together, here's an example sentence that you can have. 한국어를 공부하기 시작한지. So since beginning to study Korean, 7개월 됐어요. It has been 7 months. So it's been 7 months since I began studying Korean. Or more basically, I have been studying Korean for 7 months. So I would actually just remember this part of the grammar form. Action verb stem with 기, 시작한지. So since starting to do, action, and then follow that with an amount of time and the verb 되다 conjugated in the past tense. Next, here's another mistake.
그리고 저는 동영상 100개 보았어요.
Here, I think you were trying to say, I watched all 100 videos. But your sentence is missing a word for all. So the word you want here is 모두. Now, this word 모두 means all, and it can actually be used in two different ways. First of all, it can be used as an adverb, so right before a verb, to mean all or everything. Or it can also be used as a noun to mean everybody. Not when you're addressing everybody, but when you're talking about everybody. Now, in this sentence, you're talking about videos, so you can use this word just to mean all. So instead, say 모두 봤어요, instead of just 봤어요. Next.
그리고 저는 제 공책을 보여줄래요.
I just want to say I'm really glad that you're trying to use the grammar that you're learning, because that's really the best way to actually learn anything. Here, the grammar form that you're using at the end, 줄래요, is a bit too informal. Now, it's not rude, but in this sort of video where you're speaking to an audience, informal grammar should be avoided as much as you can. So instead of this form, which is kind of like a combination of saying I want to and I will, I recommend just using the regular 고 싶다, want to form. So that would just be 보여주고 싶어요. I want to show you. Okay, we're almost done. Actually, we're done with your grammar, but I want to show you something else. This is something even bigger, I should point out.
그리고
I think you get the idea. Try not to rely too much on these sort of transition words. This includes 그리고, but it also includes words like 그래서, 근데, 하지만, and others, because whenever you use a transition word like this, to the listener, it either feels like you're completely changing your point, or it sounds like you're trying to add something major to your conversation. So it's okay to use them when you need them, but most of the time you can actually leave them off. And instead, I recommend using sentence connectors. So things like the 고 form to say and, or 지만 to say but, or even better, the 대 form, which shows contrast. Okay, now, as a beginner, Luiza, I think you're doing just fine. Please keep going and let me know how your studies are going in the future. And again, thank you so much for sending me your video to grade your Korean. So, what did you think? And if you'd like to submit your video for my next lesson, I've put information and a video link with instructions for how you can do that in the video description box below. And if you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, please like this video and click subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next time. 그럼? Oh wait, take it away, Luiza.
그럼 다음에 또 봐.